Welcome everybody to Weiss Camera Action. I, of course, am your host, Aaron Weiss, alongside my wife, Erica J. Weiss.
Hello, everyone. I am so glad to be back. It's been far too long.
And rounding out our trio, my own brother, Alex Weiss.
The original AW.
Whoa.
Someone say the sequel perfected it, but perfected the formula.
Actually,
How's it
the
going,
original
everyone?
AMW.
Again, the sequel perfected the formula.
What if there's
I'm
any
the
movies
Empire
that
to
have?
your Star Wars,
Are there any movies that started in '86 and had a sequel in '94? That'd be like a brother off.
Whoa, we would have to watch those, wouldn't we?
Mm-hmm.
Makes you think. And I'll just be the third wheel on that episode.
But are any of them classics?
Oh, that's the question of the hour. That actually gets us right into the meat of the show. Of course, this is Weiss Camera Action, the show where each and every month we three Weisses watch and
Of
review.
Orient or not Orient?
Definitely not Orient. We three Weisses watch and review bona fide classic movies. That's right. Weiss Camera Action is changing it up a bit. We had
We got
decided
bona
to.
fides.
Yes, we did. We have decided to move away from reviewing movie series, and we are going to each take a turn picking a classic movie, and then we will watch said movie, recap it, analyze it, critique it, and see if the movie's status as a classic is justified or not. Each episode after this one will end with the chooser of the next movie presenting and defending their pick. I say after this one because that is how this episode is starting. That's right. This part of the episode was recorded before we watched this month's pick, which I will present and defend now.
Oh my gosh, I'm on the edge of my seat.
How are you feeling, Alex? Do you know what's coming?
Yeah, I think it looks like you have something to say.
Oh, yeah.
Do you?
I do. For January 2026, I am picking a film written, directed, and starring Orson Welles. It was co-written by Herman J. Mankiewicz. And I picked this film because film bros and movie snobs all speak so highly of it. Some even claim that it is the best film ever made. It holds a 99% on Rotten Tomatoes and a 4.2 on Letterboxd. It received an Oscar for Best Original Screenplay at the 14th Academy Awards, as well as 8 additional nominations. If you have taken a class on film, this was for sure in its curriculum. Famed film critic Roger Ebert says, "Its surface is as much fun as any movie ever made. Its depth surpasses understanding. I have analyzed it a shot at a time with more than 30 people, and together we have seen, I believe, pretty much everything that there is to see on screen. The more clearly I see it, its physical manifestation, the more I am stirred by its mystery."
Well, like that overview.
And that's just part of it. Audience, you may have guessed it by now. I picked Citizen Kane. Alex, I'm going to throw it to you. What is your perception of this film?
I know this movie by cultural osmosis only.
Same.
I know it's a movie that pioneered a bunch of techniques we see in cinema now, like different angles and camera movements and probably cinematography. But beyond that, I unfortunately know the twist of the movie because of the osmosis, which I won't talk about here because there are two people who may not know the twist. I know it's based on the life of William Randolph Hearst. Don't know who that is besides the title character is based on him.
A tycoon of some sort.
I think he was a newspaper tycoon. I think. But yeah, I feel like I know a lot about its stature and or its place in cinema and the twist of the movie, which I don't know if it's a twist, but
It's like the climax or whatever, like
yeah,
the turning point.
yeah. And but I don't really know the story.
Erica, same question. What is your perception of this film?
So my whole personality, I was an English major, and as an English major, took a lot of lit classes and some film classes. Of course, taking several film classes in college, I have seen Citizen Kane, but here's my big asterisk on that. I watched it at like 12:30 a.m. In the like basement level of the apartment I was living in because there was a big empty room that was never locked. And I just put a blanket over my head, grabbed a snack, put it on my laptop, and sat down there taking vague notes while I was also like playing on my phone. So
Mhm.
have I written an essay on it? Well, yes. Did I get a good grade on it? Well, yes. But do I recall the film? um I don't really. I remember the iconic line. Shall I say it? He says,
Go ahead.
Rosebud. Did we all know that? Did we all know he was going to say that?
That's like the most.
I thought the iconic line was "I'm Charles Foster Kane" with an exclamation point.
I
Well, the
thought it,
exclamation point is important.
I thought it was "No, I am your father."
No, that's that other movie.
Oh right.
It's the Sting.
Anyways, make a long story short, I know like some basic things about the movie. I just really don't remember much of the plot at all. So I will be excited to rewatch it. Something that kind of struck me, Aaron, when you were saying something before, something along the lines of, we'll recap it, analyze it, critique it, and then try to, discuss, was this like worthy of being a classic?
Yeah.
Does it hold to its title? I have a hard time with that because I am not like such a movie snob to where I like know the cinematography and I know what's considered good acting and good directing and good production and all that kind of stuff. Like I don't really have an eye for that. And even if I did, I might not clock that something was impressive for what era of time did Citizen Kane come out in?
In the 40s.
In the 40s.
1941.
So I might not clock that something was impressive for the 40s because it might be kind of commonplace in film in the 21st century. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I might be relying, not that y'all are old. I'm like, y'all would know. Y'all were there in the 40s when this was good.
Our dads
Anyways.
weren't there. Neither of our dads.
You're right. But basically, I might not clock it if it's like actually really something good that's happening. So I might be relying on y'all a little bit more to help me like know, like, oh, that cinematography was good.
Mm-hmm. Also, we should try to find that essay. Do you think you have it on a drive somewhere, or?
I might. I mean, did I write an essay on it, or did I?
Neither.
I know. I just said I did. I'm just kind of thinking out loud now. Did I write an essay on it, or was it like a discussion post, or was it? I mean, surely I had to do some assignment on it. Like if it was a film or a book assigned for class, I had to do an assignment on it, but I can't remember what it was.
It'd be interesting to find that assignment.
It would be, yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of, I was going to say between you two, but I haven't actually ever seen the movie, so I'm not between you two. I'm more close to Alex. I've definitely seen like parodies. Like I know The Simpsons has done something with it, and I'm sure Family Guy has as well, because Family Guy is just cruder The Simpsons. Yeah, like the cultural zeitgeist is definitely what it is today. I can't say definitely, is likely what it is today because of movies to the ilk of Citizen Kane. Yeah, it's one of those movies that has shaped movies that came after it, and
Yeah.
Everything.
And I was reading up on it. So the Oscar that was awarded for the best original screenplay, that's the only one that Orson Welles ever got, and this was his first movie.
Interesting.
So yeah, I mean, it was truly like a lightning in the bottle type thing, type moment, like right place, right time, right subject matter, whatever. But I mean, I guess we'll see why once we all watch the movie.
I have a small aside question. Does anybody know Orson Welles' final movie? Since this was his first.
No idea.
Transformers the movie. The
Really?
animated movie.
In the 80s?
Huh?
In the
Yeah.
80s? Yeah.
Well, ain't that something? Those are good
What-
bookends.
What a wild spectrum, like one of the most revered movies of all time to what can be called a cult classic, I guess.
Yeah. My last question before we take a quick break. Are you looking forward to watching this? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
I'm looking forward to watching it. Do I think that is going to be the my personal favorite movie I've ever seen? Of course not, because we all know my personality. However, I am interested to get my critical thinking brain working again a little bit and to thoughtfully analyze something and take notes and have an intelligent thing to say. So that'll be nice.
Yeah.
Haven't flipped that switch in my brain in a while.
I have a question and also something else I'd like to say. Did you answer your own question, Aaron?
I'm looking forward to watching
Okay.
this.
The question is, are you
Sorry.
guys going to watch these movies differently than normal, or are you just going to watch them like you would? By differently, I mean, are you going to look for certain criteria, or are you just going to
I
watch
think
it?
I'm just going to watch it.
No, I have to watch it with my brain turned on. Normally, if I'm watching a movie, my brain is halfway on and I'm halfway paying attention to something else. I'll lock in. I'll actually focus.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good question.
Okay.
And from there, I'm going to have us take a quick break.
Oh, can I say something real quick? Sorry.
Yes.
I would like to surprise introduce a small section that I am previewing for the after the movie.
Okay.
I'm going to call it the Simpsons factor. And
Oh.
we're going to see how much of these movies are represented in the Simpsons.
Oh, I love it.
That's actually a good one.
All right. And from there, we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back with our thoughts from the show.
Ba-dum-bum.
All right. Welcome back, everyone. We just watched Citizen Kane from 1941, starring Orson Welles. And now it is time for us to give you a brief overview of our thoughts before we recap it and analyze it. So we'll start with Alex.
I think I know it's probably cliche to call it the best movie ever, and I'm not going to, but I can see why people would call it that. And I think its reputation is warranted. I went in thinking I was going to be kind of a hater, but I liked it.
You do have a reputation as a hater. Erica, what did you think?
Okay, so I was shocked at how little I remembered. I thought I would watch it and be like, oh yeah, that's coming back to me now. Nope. After he said rosebud and dropped the snow globe, first of all, I thought he dropped an apple. So that's how far removed my memory was.
That's Snow White.
It is Snow White, and I've seen Snow White many more times than Citizen Kane, so that must have been tainting my memory. Regardless, I'm not going to say that I loved it, but I did try to like turn on my English major brain and take notes and like look out for things and blah blah blah. And I was like, okay, I'm seeing the vision. I see why people love it. I see why it's so highly acclaimed. And also I can see it being an inspiration for film to come. So I appreciated it a lot. I won't say I loved it, but I definitely really appreciated it. Aaron,
Citizen Kane just got friend zoned by Erica.
that's so real. Sorry, Charlie.
Yeah, I didn't love it. I can't even really say that I liked it. I just it's a movie that exists, and I can see why it's important. I can say some positive things. I liked the storytelling structure.
Mhm.
I liked No, actually, honestly, that might be it. I liked the structure of the storytelling. I didn't necessarily love the story that it had to tell, though. Sorry about that, folks. Technical difficulties. A little rusty at this whole podcasting thing. But yeah, back to my thoughts. I really like the story structure, and that's pretty much all I can say about the movie. I mean, I did like Orson Welles' performance as Kane, Citizen Kane, Charles Foster Kane.
Charles Foster Kane.
Exactly. I appreciated his performance, but like I thought it was really strange that it's a movie based on a newspaper tycoon, William Randolph Hearst, who was not dead. I thought this guy would have been dead for at least 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
You know, minimum 5 years.
Before you would go and make a movie based on his life.
Yeah. And no, the guy lived for 10 years after this movie was like, he probably saw this movie. And I wouldn't be surprised if there's some documentation secretly hidden away somewhere that he like funded this movie or something. It almost felt like it wasn't like a scathing view on his life or like a
Mhm.
critical view on his life. It was more like glorifying it in a way. So like it was, I don't know, it just kind of, I don't know, didn't love it. But yeah, I mean, I can definitely see some of the influence that it has in future movies, in pop culture in general. Like the whole time I was watching the movie, I could only think of like Orson Welles popping up in like Futurama, and just how much I loved those parts of Futurama. So I guess without this movie, we wouldn't. Well, he was like a radio star, right?
Yeah.
Before, which is weird because he was only like 26 when this movie came out. So like he had quite the robust career before 30.
Mhm.
And then, even until his death, like 40 years later. So yeah, I didn't love it. I respect it, but I can go the rest of my life without having to watch it again.
How interesting. Oh my gosh, I would not have guessed that Aaron would have liked the least out of the three of us.
Old
Yep.
movie is old.
Lost that bet, Erica. You lost that bet.
I sure did. Good thing I didn't bet.
Let's get this Wikipedia recap real quick
Yeah.
before we get into some analysis. In a mansion called Xanadu, part of a vast palatial estate in Florida, the elderly Charles Foster Kane is on his deathbed. Holding a snow globe, he utters his last word, Rosebud, and dies.
Can I just say I didn't know they were in Florida? I don't think they ever said it. I thought they were in Colorado, but
Oh no, they said it. They
did.
In the highlight newsreel that comes up like right after Rosebud, they say
Mhm.
that Xanadu was built in Florida. They like built a mountain.
Oh, okay.
Gulf Coast, Florida. I wrote down that key term
And
because I was like, what is my setting? I don't know where I am in the world.
My bad.
But you were also correct in Colorado because that's where old CFK was born,
Okay.
and where he was like,
So his friends, he's CFK.
yeah, to that's where he was like adopted from or whatever that weird arrangement
Mhm.
was for his. But we'll get there in a second. Newsreel obituary tells this life story of Kane, an enormously wealthy newspaper publisher and industry magnate. Kane's death becomes sensational news around the world, and Newsreel's producer tasks reporter Jerry Thompson with discovering the meaning of Rosebud.
Can I stop you there really quick?
Mhm.
So that was something that was a little bit of a block for me in getting fully invested into the story. So Rosebud was his final word. And,
Yep.
these people are trying to figure out, why did he say it? What does that mean to him? But if they were able to figure it out, what did they think they were going to gain from that? That they could make a big news article about, this is what Rosebud means. And like, okay, so what if Rosebud was like his nickname for his ex-wife or something? Like, would
Mhm.
that have really been like show-stopping news? Like, why was it like this big get that they needed to figure out what Rosebud meant?
I think Kane kind of answered the question where he was talking about like not only seeking out news but like making it happen.
Mm.
And I think these guys were kind of just like, hey, we're gonna not just chase the story, we kind of want to build sensation around it too, because
I
he
Kind of
was
like
so.
Kane would have.
Yeah, like Kane would have.
Yeah, no, that's actually a good point.
But I'm with you. I think it's a really strange MacGuffin. MacGuffins are what moves the plot forward.
Thank you.
Mhm.
I made a face for the listeners who don't have the video of us.
Thompson sets out to interview Kane's friends and associates. He tries to approach Kane's second wife, Susan Alexander Kane, now an alcoholic nightclub owner, but she refuses to talk to him. Thompson goes to the private archive of the late banker Walter Parks Thatcher. Through Thatcher's written memoirs, Thompson learns about Kane's rise from a Colorado boarding house and the decline of his fortune. In 1871, oh, hi, Sasha.
Sorry.
It's okay.
She's in the next room over getting her teeth brushed.
She's making her podcast debut.
That's the first you could hear of it?
Yes.
Mhm,
Okay.
mhm.
The first I noticed it, at least.
The clearest for sure, but it's no problem. The listeners know and love all wises.
Want me to take over for a second?
Mhm.
In 1871, gold was discovered through a mining deed belonging to Kane's mother, Mary Kane. She hired Thatcher to establish a trust that would provide for Kane's education and assume guardianship of him, protecting him from his brutal father. While the parents and Thatcher discussed arrangements inside the boarding house, the young Kane played happily with a sled in the snow outside. When his parents introduced him to Thatcher and told him he would live with him, the boy struck Thatcher with his sled and attempted to run away. Shall I continue?
I just wanted to say they did a very inconsistent job with portraying the father as like a abusive, deadbeat dad.
I completely agree. I thought, if anything, the mom was coming off like that because she was the one who was like, yeah, it'll be fine to just let him be raised by this man we've never met. And think about it, we're going to get $50,000 a year. So let's just let it happen. And the dad was like, I guess for the money, sure. And it's like, wait. Because the way the Wikipedia article is making it sound is that the mom wanted him to be sent away to be away from the dad, right? But the way I perceived it in the movie is that the mom wanted him to be sent away because there was a financial gain for her in him being sent away.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah,
what I
the
gathered.
motivation there was definitely kind of squirrely, like,
Yeah.
at best. Yeah.
And
at
so
best.
I was
Also,
disturbed by that.
the sled was also mentioned in the reel. I don't think the Wikipedia thing said that.
Oh.
The politician guy mentions it. He's like, someone says, "Isn't that the kid who hits you with a sled?" And then
Yeah.
it happens in the flashback.
Yeah, I remember that.
The yeah,
So
the
we
whole
get 2 mentions of the sled in the beginning of the movie. So
and
we're getting warmed up for it.
you see the sled get left behind. But what I was going to say is with the whole like abusive father thing, it's like I don't necessarily need to see the dad like hitting Charles, but like maybe so like a little bit of I don't know. I hate to say it, like verbal abuse or something, like just to more establish that he's like a bad dad and like he needs to
I don't
be.
think he had many lines either, did he?
His main lines were, "Why are we sending him to a banker to raise our son? Why can't I'm a father? I should be able to raise my son." Like that's the kind of verbiage I remember him saying. I don't remember a lot of. I think at one point maybe he said something about like a spanking. I think after he hit the guy with the sled, the dad was saying something about time for your spanking, which I'm like, it is the 1800s. Were not all children being spanked? And look, that's not me condoning spanking. That's not my personal style. However, I'm just saying, I was not
When in Rome.
I was not gathering abusive dad from that. I was just gathering it's an old timey movie. Of course, they're being spanked.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. Something to more establish that he's an abusive father, other than a brief line of.
Also, maybe we're all horrible people, and the dad was like straight up abusive, and it went over all of our heads. And if that's the case, dear listener, we apologize.
We find out there's not actually a sled in the movie. It's just we all imagined it.
Rosebud is his dad.
Rosebud is his dad.
Anyways, by the time Kane gained control of his trust at the age of 25, the mine's productivity and Thatcher's prudent investing had made Kane one of the richest men in the world. Kane took control of the New York Inquirer newspaper and embarked on a new career of yellow journalism. That's essentially fake journalism, for those who don't know.
Did he buy a tabloid, like a tabloid newspaper?
It was known as a tabloid.
Just so y'all know, whenever Aaron gives a little definition of something, it's because he knows I don't know what's going on and he's just trying to help me out.
Erica, you are the audience.
Oh dear.
If this was a movie, you would be the stand-in for the audience. Publishing scandalous articles that attacked Thatcher's and his own business interests. Kane sold his newspaper empire to Thatcher after the 1929 stock market crash left him short of cash. Thompson interviews Kane's personal business manager, Mr. Bernstein. Bernstein recalls that Kane hired the best journalists available to build the Inquirer's circulation. Kane rose to power by successfully manipulating public opinion regarding the Spanish-American War and marrying Emily Norton, the niece of the President of the United States.
Okay, can I stop you really quick? Because this was an interesting part of the movie to me, because the Wikipedia article is saying he hired the best journalists available. But what he really did was he didn't just like this journalist from this publication and that journalist from that publication. He took an entire team from what was it called, the Chronicle, and kind of stole them out from underneath the. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He kind of did a little sneak.
Little switcheroo. And something interesting is William Randolph Hearst actually did this stuff. He actually did manipulate public opinion, and a lot of people credit him with us entering what would be the Spanish-American War.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yep. So read up on him. He's pretty interesting and diabolical guy. Thompson interviews Kane's estranged best friend, Jedediah Leland, in a retirement home. Leland says that Kane's marriage to Emily disintegrated over the years despite their having a son, and he began an affair with amateur singer Susan Alexander while running for governor of New York as a, quote, fighting liberal, unquote. His political
Wait,
opponent...
he was supposed to have he was having an affair with that lady?
Yeah, you didn't...
Because
I
I
mean,
saw him like spend like 5 minutes with her, and that was it.
that was and I wondered about that too, if it was like an old-timey movie so they couldn't be too suggestive, or if it was like, what was the extent of it? Because I think it was definitely an inappropriate relationship at the very least. You know,
Mhm.
like being
Yeah.
alone at her house and asking her how old are you and all these things, like creepy,
Mhm.
obviously. But I don't know if we were supposed to infer that more
Mhm.
was happening, but they
'Cause I
couldn't show all of that because of the
definitely
age of the
saw
movie.
or understood that the newspaper like slandered him or maybe reported accurately.
It'd be print. It's liable.
Oh, thank you, JJ.
You're welcome.
I got that reference. No need to explain it to the audience.
His political opponent, corrupt boss Jim W. Geddes, discovered the affair and forced Susan to write Emily about it. And the public scandal ended Kane's political career. Man, if only things like that small could end political careers nowadays, huh?
I was going to say it, so thank you for saying it.
Womp womp.
Womp womp.
Kane married Susan and forced her into a humiliating career as an opera singer, for which she had neither talent nor ambition.
I thought she was kind of good. Do you know what? I'm going to say it. I thought she was kind of good.
I didn't hear the bad singing. I was really listening too.
Mm-hmm. Erica and I were talking about like during those scenes when it was like, you know, people in the audience just like kind of rolling their eyes, or like the people backstage, like
Or the voice coach being
the
like,
voice
no, you're
coach.
doing it wrong.
Yeah, we were just like, that's like the movie trend or TV show trend of finding someone just beautiful and saying that she's fat. Like just someone who's completely healthy and nothing wrong, and
Well, there's a movie called The Duff.
the dumb, ugly, fat friend.
Yeah, that means dumb, ugly, fat. No, designated ugly, fat
Oh.
friend, actually. But the girl they got to play the quote unquote Duff, it was like so pretty and not ugly. And
It's Mae
I
Whitman.
mean, probably was not a size 2, but I'm like, not fat. It was the weirdest thing. And I remember as a teenager being like, this movie's hilarious. And I look back on it and I'm like, how damaging for the children. Regardless, I thought she could sing. I liked it. And Susan, I'm so sorry they didn't like you. I would have come to your show and I would have thrown rose petals. I would have.
I would have thrown rosebuds.
Oh, you got me.
Let's see. Kane married Susan and forced her into a humiliating career as an opera singer, for which she had neither talent nor ambition. Kane then built a large opera house in Chicago for Susan to perform in. After Leland began to write a negative review of Susan's disastrous opera debut, Kane fired him but finished the negative review and printed it, which I didn't understand. Like, what? Like, I understand firing him, but why would he finish the negative review himself?
I think a little bit of hubris, like, hey, no one can talk bad about my wife except for me.
Hubris and stubbornness.
Yeah.
That's fair. Susan protested that she never wanted the opera career anyway, but Kane forced her to continue the season. Susan consents to an interview with Thompson and describes the aftermath of her opera career. She attempted to. I did not gather that she attempted suicide.
Remember when she couldn't wake up in the morning because she had taken all that medicine?
Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah. Kane finally allowed her to abandon singing. After many unhappy years living at Xanadu with Kane, the two had an argument that culminated in Kane slapping Susan. Susan decided to leave Kane. Kane's butler, Raymond, recounts that after Susan moved out of Xanadu, Kane began violently destroying the contents of her former bedroom. When Kane discovered a snow globe, he calmed down and tearfully said, "Rosebud." Thompson concludes that he cannot solve the mystery, and that the meaning of Kane's last word will remain unknown. At Xanadu, Kane's belongings are cataloged or discarded by mansion staff as Thompson leaves. They find a sled, the one on which 8-year-old Kane was playing on the day he was taken from his home in Colorado, and throw it into the furnace with other items. Unknown to the staff, the sled's trade name, printed on top, becomes visible through the flames. Rosebud. The sled's smoke rises from the chimney as the view pulls back to a sign on Xanadu's outer fence, which also began the film, "No Trespassing." You know that smoke also signifies that there's a new pope that's been chosen.
I gotta say, compared to Pirates of the Caribbean, that was a very brisk overview.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, our Pirates of the Caribbean episode, that was a long one
Mm-hmm.
for the first movie.
Well, yeah. So
do you have some questions, host? Just gonna open it up for.
Yeah, I was just going to open it up for more in-depth thoughts from the field. We can start. Who wants to go first?
I got
Who wants
some
to be
notes.
who wants to be a millionaire? Go ahead.
Choose me. I want to be a millionaire. Okay. So some things I noticed. The opening shot and the closing shot. I think I kind of said that in the Wikipedia article, but I noticed a few things, like the camera was panning up a lot in the opening shot, like along a chain link fence. It would like slowly pan up to show, like, I think there was like monkeys and birds and like all this crazy stuff around the mansion. And anyways, the camera movement was constantly going up to reveal like what was above, and then the end of the movie, that closing shot on the outside of Xanadu, the camera was panning down along the chain link fence. And I was like, oh, that's symbolic. I didn't get much further than that symbolic. I didn't quite figure out what it was symbolizing, but it's something. I just thought that was kind of a cool difference. I like the switch up from how it was like dark, creepy music. The lighting looked very dark. It was nighttime. It was mysterious. We hear Rosebud, but we don't see the whole face. All these weird things. And then there's a switch up, and immediately we're in Florida, Gulf Coast. The music is happy and upbeat. There's palm trees. There's like, it's just a much happier, brighter vibe. So I like that switch up to kind of signal like we're in a dark movie. Things are dark. However, like, here's our setting, like Florida, things should be happy and upbeat, but actually it's dark. I enjoyed that little directing choice, I suppose, artistic choice. I'm trying to see if I jotted down anything else about like cinematography or directing choices that I noticed. Those were kind of my first thoughts. I remember in my film classes that I took being told that like those opening shots and closing shots are usually the ones to pay attention to, because they can be doing a lot of heavy lifting to set up the story. So I wanted to make sure I jotted that down. Also, I love the name Jed. Jedediah. Jed. I thought that was a cool name.
Good. Want to know my mild, lukewarm take?
Tell me.
Yes.
So I would have preferred if there hadn't been any of Kane's point of view of the story. If it had all been
Oh,
told from like people searching for him, because it was a lot of that, but there was a lot like very extensive flashbacks where it's told kind of from his point of view.
yes, that's such a good point. Like, there's scenes that only he is in.
Yeah,
But it would have
yeah,
made a lot more sense if there was none of those scenes because all of the
yeah,
scenes that he is in are flashbacks from other people's perspectives.
yeah.
That's a
And
great point, Alex.
I like the reporter just trying to figure out what happened, talking to other people, investigating. That was the more interesting part. And then we enter those. They seem like really long flashbacks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I agree. Like the
I was
storytelling,
positive.
the storytelling from that perspective was
Hmm.
rocky, or didn't make quite that much sense.
I think it was a
Mhm.
great premise, but I think that the art of the flashback has definitely been perfected since then.
Hmm.
And that was kind of a rough draft.
Hmm. Yeah, I think Family Guy really.
The first pancake, as I would like to say. The first pancake is never that good, but at least it's a pancake.
Yeah, Family Guy's made a lot of flashback pancakes.
Oh, all right, Family Guy.
But like I I was trying, how did you phrase it, Erica? Trying to watch it with your brain on or something?
I said what about your brain? Sorry. I,
You were
I
trying,
was
how were you watching the movie? Was it with watching it with your brain on?
my English major brain, yeah.
Your English major brain. Pardon me. I was trying to watch it with my what I know about movies brain,
Yeah.
which is not a whole lot, but like part of the reason the flashbacks didn't work as well for me is because they were not as pretty as to look at as the other shots.
Hmm.
I mean, a lot of them were, but like the lighting was very dramatic before, like in the when they turn off the film reel, like everybody's in shadow,
Hmm.
and yeah, there's a lot of hard shadows, and like you never see that guy that I forget his name, the interviewer. What's his
Thompson.
name?
Thompson.
Yeah, you never see his face at all.
Yeah,
You only see him from behind.
I actually didn't even fathom that. Hmm.
there were kind of going to a different part of like the flashbacks,
Hmm.
specifically when they focused on Charles Foster Kane in his like older years. Like some of the close-ups, like the makeup just looked really bad.
Yeah,
Um, Aging up a guy, I don't know how old he was supposed to be when he passed, but I mean, like I already previously stated, like Orson Welles was like 25, 26, and I know 25, 26 is different in the 40s than it is today. But I also think that looking, let's just say he was supposed to be like 75. Like I don't think he always accurately looked his age.
Yeah, I had to suspend my disbelief on that one a little
Hmm.
bit, but it didn't bother me too much because, like, sure, it looked a little goofy,
Hmm.
but I guess the alternative would have been hire a different actor to play the old man version of him, which I don't think would have necessarily been a better option. I think they probably did the best they could have with, like, I'm sure they hired like the best makeup team to do it or whatever,
Hmm.
So I don't know. I guess I
I
can't
thought
be sure.
I thought everyone else's makeup was pretty good except for really old Kane.
Yeah.
Like,
Super
uh,
old Jed was better than super old
mhm.
Kane.
I agree. Yeah.
But Jed also didn't have literal close-ups.
Yeah,
like
he
that.
didn't, and he didn't walk either.
Yeah, so and I know it's kind of like this movie's 85 years old. Like it has to get some passes. But it was just things that I noticed that
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, the makeup was not good. It's a good point. Okay, what do y'all think? Was the ending a satisfying ending? Rosebud referred to a sled all along. Was it worth it? Was
Well,
it worth the 2 hours of viewing time for that ending?
I'm going to quote Marge Simpson and say it was an ending.
it was an ending. I would have been more satisfied, I think, if the reporter had figured out what Rosebud was and told his editor or whoever it was that sent him on this wild goose chase that it was just talking about a sled. Like, and then that they were kind of disappointed with what they found. Like, I feel like if they had been the ones disappointed,
Oh, interesting.
I think that would have been a better ending.
It would have given the viewer room to have a different emotion that was not disappointed. Because, yeah, I actually think that's a great point. So here's the thing. I'm totally a sucker for that kind of thing of like, all along he just wanted a normal life. Like I don't know. I like that as a storyline or as a motive for a character to see like he didn't know how to treat his wives well, I should say. He didn't know how to be a good politician. He, didn't know how to be a good dad. He, like just all these things. Like he was not a great boss at work. Like we can see like him kind of doing weird things and making weird decisions as a boss at work. But like all along, the most important thing that like he wished he could have had that he just could not go back to was like a simple life in Colorado with his sled and having like a mom and dad that loved him. Like those are just things that he couldn't have had. And I think that there's like, I don't know, like that's like a sad ending, really. That like all along he was like, I'm gonna get more famous and more successful, but like that's not actually what he wanted.
Yeah.
So I appreciated the ending for what it revealed about him, but I don't know if the way the ending was done was the most satisfying, if that makes sense. Like seeing the word Rosebud burning on a sled in the fire, I'm like, I don't know. Maybe there could have been a different way to convey that message.
Is this supposed to, or the way the ending was presented was like what we just saw was supposed to be seen as a tragedy.
Yeah.
And the film didn't read tragedy to me.
Well, like in terms of like I'm going back Shakespearean or whatever, like is it a comedy or a tragedy? What's the play? You know what I mean?
They're both funny.
In tragedies, the downfall of the hero is usually hubris. And so I think that in that kind of context, this was definitely reading tragedy. Like just too big for his britches kind of thing. But yeah, I think his downfall was that he was set up to have that hubris, though. He was set up to think so highly of himself. Like that's what he was forced into when he was 10 years old. But yeah, I found it to be a tragedy for sure. But at the same time, that's not me saying that I liked Kane as a character. Because I don't actually think there was a single character in the whole movie that I liked or like I was rooting for necessarily. Probably Susan, actually. Yeah, Susan's my homegirl. I liked her. But for the most part, none of the characters I was really rooting for, which is to me a little bit annoying because as a movie viewer, that's kind of the number one thing I look for is likable characters, and this movie was definitely short on that. But I still think that Kane was a sympathetic character to an extent. Like, I do not envy his life. I don't think that if I was in his position, I would have done a way better job. I don't think that because, like, that's really, really hard to be a 10-year-old uprooted from your home, having parents that care more about money than they care about you, and being told you're going to be the richest man in the world. Like, what do you do with that?
Mhm.
Like, he lived a life that was like surface level looked really easy because he had all this money and the access to anything he wanted, but like, that's no way to live. Like, I think really, like, he didn't have a real life,
Mm-mm.
you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to somewhat contradict myself and say that there wasn't enough sled talk towards the last half of the movie. Like, I mean, maybe because in the intro, I said I knew what the twist was. I knew that Rosebud was the sled because of pop culture permeation. But maybe if I hadn't known that, I wouldn't have thought that there wasn't enough sled talk.
Mm,
What worked for me is when he said Rosebud in the bedroom, like after he had trashed the bedroom and he had the snow globe in his hand, to
Yeah.
me, that immediately signaled to me Rosebud has something to do with Colorado. Because Colorado and Florida are such different places, like climate wise, like snowy mountains versus like sandy
Yeah.
beaches. So the fact that he looked at a snow globe and then said Rosebud, I was like, okay, so this is going to have something to do with Colorado back home.
Mm-hmm.
So when I saw the sled, I was like, yes, that's exactly what I thought. Like,
mhm.
that's why I didn't mind that there was not as much sled talk because I was primed to think it was going to be Colorado.
Sled talk.
Sled
I
talk.
like if we could just have this going forward. If we watch a movie that's famous for having a twist, and it's like foreshadowed at the beginning of the movie, we need to just refer to it as sled talk.
Sled talk. That's so fun. Also, just because I'm a Gen Z and I'm like completely brain rotted, sled talk is making me think that we're like on TikTok and there's like a side of TikTok where they talk about sleds.
There probably is.
Oh my gosh, are you on sled talk?
This is Hulk.
Hulk, not hawk.
Hulk. I can't say it like that anymore. It hurts.
You pronounce the L in talk?
No,
For this purpose, instead of TikTok,
Oh.
we're doing talk.
yeah.
Oh.
Alex was zoned out for a second. It's okay.
Yeah, I'm zoning out, or I'm ignoring anything that's not sled talk right now.
Yeah, I think this movie was, 2 hours is a great length for a movie, right? Like,
Especially as parents, yes.
what?
A shorter movie, it's great when you're
Oh,
a parent.
I thought you said his parents, and I was like, what does
No,
that have to do with his
especially
parents?
as parents.
No, yeah, as parents, 2 hours is probably like the maximum length that we would want for a movie without having to split it up into like 3 nights or whatever. Well, we did split this up into 2 nights because, well, we were going to watch it on Saturday and I was like, oh wait, the Packers are playing.
That was sad. Now that was the tragedy.
That was a tragedy, and it did not end with Rosebud. But anyways, 2 hours was a great length. I don't know if the runtime was like used particularly well. I feel like in some parts I feel like I could have used more. In other parts I feel like I could have used less. So that's why I land on 2 hours being a good length for this movie. But like, I do wish that there was more of his childhood.
Yeah.
But I also wish that there was, I don't know, maybe less of his
Newspaper escapades.
Yeah, less of his newspaper escapades, maybe. I don't know. It's weird because it's like it is a good length movie, but it's just the time is used strangely to me.
It's the first pancake.
It's first pancake. It is interesting a little bit because I was looking over our list of movies that we want to watch with this newly rebooted Weiss Camera Action, and I noticed one of Alex's picks. I'm not going to say which pick, because it might be the one that he chooses to watch next month. But one of Alex's picks, the movie is an older movie, and its runtime is like an hour, like literally an
Whoa.
hour. And I'm like, wow, that's like an HBO show or something. Like,
Yeah. No, actually, that's like less than an episode of Stranger Things, probably.
so it's interesting. Like, I wonder how I'm gonna feel about that movie's runtime.
Mhm.
That's so normal also for like old Disney movies, I think,
Mhm.
for them to be
Oh, yeah.
short runtimes.
Like 80 minutes is probably the average for a Disney like animated movie.
Yeah.
I love it. I have a related question to the movie. How many contemporary movies to Citizen Kane have you guys seen? Like, I'd say within 10 years of its release, like 30s, 40s.
Oh goodness. I don't even know what movies came out back then. I've seen Casablanca. Is that from back then?
Yeah, that's 1942.
I've
Put a pin
seen
in that. I have a thing about that, Casablanca.
Say Your Thing.
I say it now? Okay. Well, in the movie, Kane is like he goes to Europe and he comes back and people are like, "Is there going to be a war?" And he's like, "No, I talked with all these people. There's not going to be a war." And then 1942, the year after Casablanca comes out, and it's literally about like it's about World War II
Yeah.
getting past the Nazis. It's just
Oh,
1 year
Charlie
later.
Kane.
Yeah,
I've
1 year
also
later.
seen Vertigo. I don't know what year Vertigo
That
is.
is 1958.
Okay, so that's a little bit later. I'm trying to think of other old movies I've seen.
So
I don't know when those are the oldest Disney movies, but I've seen all the old Disney movies.
It's a Wonderful Life.
46.
Of course, this movie. I've seen Wizard of Oz.
39.
Oh, I've seen Wizard of Oz. I didn't real. How old is Wizard of Oz?
1939.
Oh my gosh. What? That sounds like it's from ancient times. I thought that Wizard of Oz was newer than that. Wait, I'm sorry, that's blowing my mind because my mom tells a story of my grandfather going to see Wizard of Oz in the theater as a child. And I just didn't fathom my grandfather being that old. Like, I know that my grandfather would have been a child in that year, but I'm sorry.
It could have been re-released as well.
No. Quick mind blowing moment, but that's cool. I'm all good.
I think it did actually have a big run, just like Snow White. Like
Mhm.
I've seen Snow White. Shoot, I know I've seen others. Oh, I've seen like the original House of Wax. The Most Dangerous Game. I know I've seen quite a few. Oh, original King Kong.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I've seen a few. Oh, Marx Brothers movies. Duck Soup. I almost picked Duck Soup. Spoilers, it's not on the list. But yeah, I've seen a few, and I definitely hope/think that between the three of us, we'll watch at least a couple more
Oldies.
oldies.
There will
Yeah.
be at least one more 1940s movie.
My list of picks was not filled with oldies necessarily. Maybe a little bit. I can't even remember my list at this point, but
Look at our thread.
yeah, it's subject to change.
I have a
anyways.
list. I took our thread and made a list, and then I can share it with you too.
I want to answer my own question real quick. I've
Yes,
seen
please.
Casablanca I'm pretty sure I've seen The Maltese Falcon, but I don't remember much about it, except I liked it, I think. I've seen It's a Wonderful Life, His Girl Friday, hilarious. Love that movie. And also Wizard of Oz. Those are the contemporaries I've seen that I remember. And I think Citizen Kane is the least of all of those. Like I
Well, yeah,
liked it.
The
I liked
Wizard
it.
of Oz is like a really good movie. So I'm like,
Yeah.
well, that was actually the first pancake, and it was a really good pancake. So actually, you suck, Citizen Kane.
Citizen Kane was the first in different ways. Like it was like the weird art student that didn't get noticed until years later, or like the ugly duckling that was a swan. But like, because it wasn't a hit at the time.
Interesting.
I imagine the others I named were hits. No, It's a Wonderful Life wasn't, but some of the others might have been. But
Yeah,
yeah,
it's interesting to think about. Um, I think that's as good of a transition as any. Alex, would you like to present the movie for February as well as um, your reasoning for it and defend it?
yes. But first, I'm going to rate Casa. I'm not going to rate Casablanca. I'm going to rate Citizen Kane on the Simpsons scale.
Oh, yes.
What's the Simpson scale?
It's how much the movies we will talk about have permeated culture to where it's reflected in The Simpsons.
Oh, right.
This gets a 10 on the Simpsons scale
Nice.
because I am convinced that Charles Montgomery Burns is modeled after Charles Foster Kane to the point where Mr. Burns lost his teddy bear, whereas Mr. Kane lost his sled. There's a whole episode about Mr. Burns getting his teddy bear back. That's
Mm-hmm.
just like, well, not just like, it's told from Mr. Burns' point of view, but he wants his teddy bear. And yeah, there's a lot of scenes that are lifted from Citizen Kane, but just saying that Mr. Burns is pretty much modeled after Kane is makes it a 10. So in my own mind, I am I picked four movies, one from each not from each decade, but from successive decades. So I'm going to start with my earliest. So Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
We're
That's the
going
next
back
one.
in time even further.
Yeah, and the reasoning being, um, I just wanted to do 4 decades in a row. I thought about doing 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. I couldn't find an animated movie from the 70s that wasn't Disney, so I just went back to a Disney movie I wasn't as familiar with. I've probably
Nice.
seen it once or twice, but
Would you believe that Erica and I reference Snow White
Often.
regularly?
In fact, we've referenced it recently.
Yes.
we referenced it on this podcast.
Recently.
So actually, when Disney Plus first came out, and I was so excited about it because all of the Disney movies that had been like kept in the vault, if
Mhm.
like
That marketing term.
yeah, if everyone's remembering this vault, I was like, oh my gosh, every movie is going to be available, every TV show, everything is going to be available. I was freaking out, so I immediately signed up for a year-long subscription. And the first thing I did that night was I watched Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs because it just felt amazing that it was at my fingertips. I just couldn't believe it that like I could just watch it without having to be like, when does it come out of the vault? I was so excited.
I watched Darkwing Duck.
I'm pretty sure I watched DCOM.
Oh my goodness. I love a DCOM. There should be a DCOM on my list. I mean, if High School Musical is not a classic, I don't know what is. No comment? Okay.
I was trying to think of a good comeback.
No, but Snow White will be great. I'm excited.
Snow White will be a fun watch and a quick watch.
Is that the one that's an hour long?
No, actually. is we'll have to keep that secret a secret until your second month of picking, which would be, I think, May.
Maybe.
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 Closing thoughts on Charles Foster Kane?
Well, I'm
And
sure
or the movie named after him?
I'm sure that if I watch this movie again, it will be much later in life.
My closing thoughts are, Susan Alexander, you're a queen, girl. Sorry that mean man put you down.
You know how they say there's movies that you watch just for fun? I wouldn't say this is one of them, but it's more like a movie that's you I don't think anybody should do it, but if you're gonna get into movies, you should probably watch it to see maybe the second pancake, to borrow Erica's analogy, um, and see where a lot of cinematography, shots, and storytelling have come from. Because, like, like all good vegetables, it's good to digest something healthy.
That's kind of a movie that you watch just to say that you've seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And folks, if you want a more concise review or my thoughts on this movie, please watch the Family Guy clip. Just Google it on YouTube. Citizen Kane, Family Guy. My thoughts exactly.
It's a 2-hour movie about Rose. Wait, I can't even quote it correctly, and I sent it to you.
Don't even need to quote it.
Just find
okay.
it, people.
Just Google it on YouTube, as the boomers say. All right, folks, this has been the reboot of Weiss Camera Action. Thank you for sticking with us, and we will be back in February with Snow White and the Seven Dwarves.
Oh, good.
Toodles.